Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. That insufferable little twat who hates bearing arms so much he always skips arm day has found someone new to blame for the literal 10,000 gun laws which didn't end gun violence. White women. Apparently, Davey decided it's okay to be misogynistic so long as he coats his misogyny in a thin layer of racism. David Hogg blamed white women for violence. But it's okay, folks. He's not mansplaining how to vote because he directed it at white women. He's also not being racist because he directed his hate at white women.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Hogg has been slowly pivoting from a narrow focus on gun control to shilling for the Democrat Party in general, presumably because he fancies a run at some sort of political office. I don't go in for party politics myself, but if I could find some of these schools and communities the GOP is flooding with weapons, I might change my tune and stump for them. What do you folks think? Are white women to blame for violence? Is this what we have to look forward to in the debate about gun rights versus authoritarian police state enthusiasts like Hogg? While you amicably discuss that down there in the comments, please also consider it would be literally impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by Vault Pro, proudly manufacturing the finest American-made safes, vault doors, safe rooms, and storm shelters. Double Black's all-American-made 17.4 stainless slides feature aggressive front and rear slide serrations, optics cut, match grade tolerances, and signature slide cuts exposing the barrel for that customized look. And by Springfield Armory. Their new Echelon striker-fired pistol has a modular fire control group and a nifty universal mounting solution which will accommodate virtually any micro red dot. New York State police officers are going door to door to shake people down over Spooky Boys. They obtained a list of eBay customers who bought gun parts and just started showing up at their homes with a dozen armed men trying to intimidate them into incriminating themselves. Thankfully, none of the people interviewed were interested in cooperating, according to AmmoLand. Without a warrant and unable to trick people into self-incrimination, the cops eventually got bored and left without any legal threats. Friends, never forget the first rule of building homemade guns. It's also a good time to remind you the ARFCOM Equipment Exchange never stores any of your personal information except for your email address and IP address, and we won't be giving those out to anyone unless we are legally obligated to do so. No need for digital shredding here. I can't prove how the New York State Police got hold of those customer records, but given they didn't show up with a warrant to the customers' homes, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect they didn't have one for eBay either. And that raises another issue. If a cop needs a warrant to search my records, why are tech giants allowed to simply hand over my information to them without a warrant? What good is the Fourth Amendment in a world where massive corporations collude with the surveillance state to violate our privacy?
Not finished yet. There's more. Let me show you this.
New York cops just can't stop stepping in it. While the New York State Police were harassing people over home-built guns, the NYPD was teaching them how to do it. The NYPD published a Spooky Boy handbook intended to be used to identify illegal guns, but it actually functions as a how-to guide. I can't show you too many of the details lest I anger the YouTube Ministry of Truth, but I can show you an example of some of the things they tell police to be on the lookout for. Yeah, if you have a FedEx package or credit cards or a phone or thumb drive or a computer, you must be a suspect. The document details the various types of homemade guns, the tools you'll need, the pros and cons of different types of polymer filament for printing, software, websites which host STL files, companies that sell 80% receivers, and so on. The guide is not exactly everything you could need to build a homemade gun, of course, but it is a fantastic jumping off point for anyone interested in getting started, and I applaud the hard work they put into it. In an unsurprisingly Orwellian twist, they also mention how important it is to track Spooky Boy recoveries so they can identify neighborhoods where there might be a local builder bringing arms to the people. As always, we have listed our sources in the doobly-doo for research purposes. In Minecraft, hypothetically. The United States Commerce Department has stopped issuing export licenses for firearms, ammo, and optics bound for civilian sales out of this country. Existing export licenses are still valid, but new applications will be held without action unless they are intended for Israel, Ukraine, or other close allies. Exports destined for foreign governments are also exempt. They don't say why, other than some vague statement about regional instability, human rights, and criminal activity.
I find that answer vague and unconvincing.
I think it's probably fair to deduce the move is intended to deny arms to Hamas and other terrorist groups, but that ship has sailed, that horse has left the barn, and the time to be concerned about arming terrorists was when we left billions of dollars of U.S. military equipment in Afghanistan. We've already seen some of it used against innocent civilians in Israel, presumably by way of Iran. Somehow, I doubt Jihad Joe here wants to give up his M4, TA-31 ACOG, and PEC-14 in exchange for an American-made shoddy with a maglite taped to it. And I can't help but wonder how this move might hurt freedom fighters in Myanmar or elsewhere. What do you folks think? Is this good policy, or am I way off target?
Stay on target.
And now, for your moment of Zen. Hey friends, do you like Pews and other Pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure, uncut American Pew propaganda at the low price of free $99? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors, so do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.